I'm Ryan Durbin from RD Ceramics, located in Highland Heights, Kentucky.
And I'm Becca Otis with Five Lines Pottery, and I'm located in Statesville, North Carolina. And welcome to Wheel Talk.
All right, hello. We are live. We're back.
Hello.
Our discussion last time was so long that we had to cut it into.
That hasn't happened in a while. You know that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. Yes. It felt like we were kind of back to normal with the Ryan and Becca episodes last time. So
Yeah.
actually got a when I sent out the information about asking for people to vote on our email list for the next book club book, somebody just replied, I think a couple days ago, they were like, "Man, I'm missing all the old episodes. I still listen to them here and there. I hope you don't delete them." And I'm like, "No, we're not deleting them, but we'll have some new ones coming out that you might enjoy feel like the old times."
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Might be, I don't know. I don't know. Everybody has opinions, but I think the old episodes are really fun.
yeah,
I think they're less serious.
yeah, it's a little more unplanned. I don't know, less structured.
Yeah. I'm realizing that I shouldn't do this while I work. You know what? I have a new system for this, um, I need an eraser. That's what I need. I have a new system for these cups that I'm working with, and I'm just not precise enough for them. So, hi, Erica.
Oh yeah, she just got in the studio. She had last week off, so she's back.
Ooh, she's back. I'm just not like precise enough. I am. I was talking to Taylor about it, and we were talking about how like we're always like, oh, we would like this to be a little bit more organic while I'm like scratching off like the tiniest millisecond, like millimeter of like colored
Mm-hmm.
pencil. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
just
you're working on very fine detail stuff. Normally, you're not doing that when we were chatting. You would just be painting or doing a little
right.
doodle
And
situation
I'm trying
there.
to focus too, so I'm trying to like make sure that it's all good. I know, and like, yeah, I probably should just doodle. Um, but yeah, it's okay. Okay. I'm gonna start and then you can go because I have things to say.
Go ahead.
Okay. First of all, how are you?
I'm great.
Oh, I'm so glad you're great. Did your
What?
house get through?
Well, no, we don't close until the 14th, but we actually
Oh,
have a
okay.
date and we've got some documents sent to us from the closing company. So it actually
That
feels
is
real this time.
so fucking exciting. Okay.
I mean, we loaded up a couch from Rachel's grandpa's house, his purple couch. So we
I'm
just loaded that into the basement.
gonna need a picture of that. Okay, so
I don't know. I have a photo of the couch, but Rachel might. He can
two
ask her
things.
for it.
Two things. I just finished my taxes,
Hmm.
and then while we were on the call, got rejected and then resubmitted them. So, um
Oh, how easy it must be to just do it that quick.
and so but I was gonna tell you guys what service I used for my taxes, and I used freetaxusa.com. And it was free. The state price was $15. It was free for federal. State price was $15. And it
Nice.
was very easy. Like very. Like I've done TurboTax and I've done this, and this was just as easy, if not easier than TurboTax. So, the only
How did you
difference,
stumble upon this? Did somebody else tell you about it,
who else,
or did
Ryan?
you just Google
Mary
it?
Ann Otis. Okay.
Oh, really? Okay.
My mom.
Wait, they
Um,
use a system like that?
no, she was just looking because I didn't want to pay any money. So
Oh, I was gonna
my
say they
mom's
probably
like an
have a more
FBI agent.
complicated taxes.
She's not an FBI agent, but she is like an FBI agent. Like, if I ask her to do something, she'll find it. She'll
Okay.
find it.
So free tax service. Well, I
Yeah,
mean, I
free
feel like
tax.
federal is always e-filing federal has always been free for the most part, isn't it? I
It
mean,
is.
the
It
state
has and it
is
is,
always
yes.
the thing that is.
But like TurboTax charges you like $100, and like it
I mean, it
literally was
depends
the
on what
same
you're doing,
process.
right? If you keep
No,
adding, like, hey, I'm a small
I
business, okay,
guess.
that adds a number of fee. If you have investments, okay, that adds a fee.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I had to file as a small business. Ow. I had to file as a small business and it didn't add anything extra. Okay. It like
That's good.
was the exact same thing. And the only reason I had to file as a small business was because of Ryan G. Otis. No, you're not Otis. Ryan G. Durbin.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So thanks for that. Um,
I could not send you a W-2 or a 1099.
no, it's okay. Um, but would you like to hear how much I got back?
Zero. I guess you owe money because you had a 1099 that you did not pay taxes on throughout the year.
No.
You got money back?
I got money back because I had so many deductions that was helpful.
Oh, you're talking about business deductions, right?
Yeah, business deductions and the regular actually that was most of it. It was the standard deductions. You want to guess? It's over $100.
No, I was gonna guess $1,000.
I've never in my life gotten $1,000 from taxes and never probably will. I got $745, the most I've ever gotten.
Nice.
Yeah.
So wait,
So
how are you deducting things if you're, well, you only did pottery or you only did podcast income, but you deducted other like business expenses that were studio related? Like you
most of
deduct your like
that,
studio rent and all that?
yeah, most of that was the studio rent. And then I did buy a few supplies. I just haven't sold anything. So
Okay.
Um, yeah, I did buy a few supplies and I didn't sell anything. And also, I counted me driving from California to here
Mm-hmm.
because technically that's a business expense. So,
I mean, it is you
yeah. But
California.
I didn't count
Oh,
like,
from Click on Wet when you first
yeah,
drove.
yeah. I didn't count
Wait, you
like
first did that this year or 2025 at the beginning of 2025?
time flies, doesn't it?
Wow.
I know.
I guess it
So
was,
it's
yeah.
all legit. Like it's all legit. I didn't like scam the system or anything. As if anybody knows me, they know that I'm not that type of person.
I'm
But
surprised you haven't sold any pottery though.
no, I haven't. I don't think I sold anything at Click on
I thought
West,
you did. I
right?
thought you did a little. I thought you did a little pop up or something a few times last year, didn't you?
I didn't make any money. I got $0.
Oh,
Um, so
yeah.
anyway, yeah, I'm pretty sure I got $0. But so I did that, and then also I have my surgery tomorrow, and
It's coming.
we have to be there at 8:30 in the morning. And they told me that I might have to owe $1,600 when I get there. But they said if I
Mm,
just pay a little,
okay.
I can put it on a payment plan. So anyway, that
Did you?
$700 is going towards a surgery.
Wow. Did you have to pay before you did the first one?
No, I don't know. It's so strange how this is so different than the other one. They're at a different place, but still, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Different place.
Um,
It's not the same place that you got the first surgery from?
no, because
What?
no, I went to Statesville and this one's in Mooresville. She works in both places. And so she works with both centers. If I had done it in Statesville, I could have come back and I'm sure they would have asked for it later. But I'm doing it in Mooresville and she told me it was cheaper in Mooresville because they're faster. So,
Because they're faster. It's the
but
same
anyway,
procedure. How is it faster?
because it's not the procedure that's faster, it's the setup, like
Mm.
getting you in, and then they like charge you by the amount of time you're in there, blah 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 blah. And since it's like a
Oh.
fast care center, they do it faster. So
Hmm. Okay.
that's what I was told by the nurse practitioner. Whether that is true or not, I do not know. It doesn't matter because it's tomorrow. So,
Right. As long as you get under your deductible, you get your deductible paid and you don't have to pay anything extra and they're not like you're out of network because you're in Mooresville.
Well, yeah, I was
then
like,
you would be
it's in
fucked.
network, right? Because I called them today, or they called me, and then I was like, blah 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 blah. Is how much am I supposed to pay? Like, I want to make sure my insurance is right. Blah 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 blah. And she was like, well, it says that your deductible is 3,000. I was like, no, my deductible is 1,500. And I said, and so they're checking on it again.
Oh my gosh.
So, um, yeah.
That's not fun.
Mm-mm.
But it'll be done.
Insurance is balls. Insurance is balls. I think my out of pocket, I don't really know the difference between out of pocket and deductible, but I think I know. Wait, and um I think from what I understand, deductible is what you hit um after the insurance's like cost. And then out of pocket is after that 20 like once once I hit my deductible, it goes down to a 70-30 split. So they pay 70%, I pay 30%, and that 30% gets added to the out of pocket. And once that out of pocket is hit, I don't have to pay anything.
Yeah, out of pocket max for the year is what it is. Yeah.
Does the deductible get added to your out of pocket?
It's part of that out of pocket number.
It is. Then
Yeah,
I
because
should not have
let's
to
say your
pay anything.
deductible is 1,500, your out of pocket max for the year is 3,000. You would like you might get a discount on services because it's like an insurance provided
Yeah.
thing and they might give a slight discount, but you still have to pay that $1,500 of your deductible throughout the year until you hit that number. Then when you hit the deductible, then you start getting those discounts like you're talking about, the 70
Okay.
30, and then you're paying 30% of the services until you hit your out of pocket max for the year, which would be what I
Yeah.
say 3,000. And then once you hit 3,000, you shouldn't have to pay anything additional within that calendar year.
Yeah. So like I went to physical therapy and the first 2 weeks I was there, they were like, "Oh, well, it doesn't say that your deductible's hit, so you have to pay $120 for
Hmm.
this visit." And then once we finally called my insurance, it took twice to figure it out. Once we finally called my insurance and like figured it all out, I only had to pay 20.
You
So,
also mentioned there's copays involved and stuff in your
oh God,
insurance,
so many
right?
fucking copays and all this shit and like I don't even know. But
Yeah.
anyway, hopefully it all gets figured out. Hopefully I don't go into bankruptcy and um hopefully, like this is why I never did this before. Now, like I knew that I didn't have enough money. I knew that I wasn't going to be able to pay it. I probably should have done it while I was in Washington because that probably would have been the best coverage I would have gotten because they're so liberal. Or Indiana. They were pretty good too, but definitely not Tennessee. I was planning on doing it in Tennessee. No, no, no. My deductible is $9,000. Thank you very much. No. And like it's just been a whole roller coaster. So anyway, that's almost done tomorrow for the most part. And then when I did, oh, and I forgot to tell you that I was going to do my taxes with my mom this morning and I almost threw my phone across the room. I don't know if you've ever tried to find your TurboTax file from 2024 when you didn't download it, but
Oh, well, I
yeah,
mean, you should just be able to log in and then pull up your old returns, but
you would think. You would think.
I would think, but
Anyway, I
that's why I
I
have
figured it out.
massive folders from our CPA that we get to
I'm
help
pretty
us with our
positive I
taxes.
actually printed my return. I'm pretty positive I printed it.
Why did you need it though? You were just checking to make sure you didn't forget something this year?
In TurboTax, if you file in Turbo, like my mom was gonna file for me because she has TurboTax, and in TurboTax but it would have been $60 to file it as in state, which is fuck bullshit. Anyway, use the free shit, and and
Yeah, use the
not
free
that
shit
it
if you can use
matters
the free
now,
shit, but
not that it matters now, but because this is coming out after taxes, but
yeah,
um,
ours is way too complex to do the free shit. I would worry about fucking something
yeah,
up.
yeah, because you have like money and
Yeah,
shit,
we pay
so
like $600 at least for our taxes to be prepped. Probably more
yeah.
than that. I
If
think we
I
did.
paid $600, it would be a wash.
Do you want to
It'd be
guess
a
how much?
negative wash.
You want to guess how much I paid to the federal government in estimated taxes last year?
Ooh, 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 yeah. Um,
Just just for the business, not not in total, just for the business side.
Oh, can you message me the one about the total?
Oh, I don't really know the total. I would have to dig
Oh,
deeply, and it's not worth my time to do that. But
well, that's the one I was more concerned about. Is it 7 grand?
for the federal for the business,
Yeah.
I wish
How much was it?
$27,000,
Shut the front door.
$27,300.
$27,000 for your business?
Yeah,
I guess that makes sense. It's
that's how
30% of a
much.
100 grand.
That's how much estimated taxes I had to pay last year.
See, this is why I don't want to be successful. Okay?
Yeah, that's what it cost.
Absolute bullshit.
That was just
Absolute
the and
bullshit.
that was just the that was just the federal too. My state one I paid 800 times 4 plus 700. Is that 60? $2,300?
Listen, if you're young and you have the ability to move to a state, try to find one without income tax. Okay?
I mean, you're gonna
And
pay it on other things. It's not just
no,
the
no,
income.
no.
Like,
And rent for the rest of your life. Okay? Rent for the rest of your life. And because where they get you is property tax. You know what? Move to Wyoming. Okay? No income tax, I don't think. And the lowest property taxes in the country.
what's there in Wyoming? What's
Nothing.
how's your state of
That's the
living in
point.
Wyoming? So you're living a great, you keep all your money, but nothing to spend your money on because you don't know
Just,
what to do there.
yeah,
I
we'll
don't
just
know.
travel
I
all the
don't know
time.
what's in
Just travel.
Wyoming. I mean, I'm sure it's
Lots.
beautiful scenery in Wyoming.
Actually Wyoming is really beautiful. But yeah. Anyway, tell me about your life, Ryan.
All right, we just had Easter in Louisville, out of town.
Did you do an Easter egg hunt?
No, we did not.
What?
Well, no, I mean our my cousin or Rachel's cousin was, doing the Easter egg hunt with the nieces and nephews or whatnot, but yeah, we didn't do one. No.
Do you know what we did this year?
Nothing.
No,
Walk the dog.
no, we went and bought Capri Suns and a thing of Mountain Dew for Andrew's mom. And we hid the 10 mountain cans of Mountain Dew for his mom, and she found those, and then she hid 20 things of Capri Sun.
Why is there 10 cans of Mountain Dew? Aren't there 20 in a
Well,
case?
we drank one, and
What about the other nine?
we drank one, and then we put one in the fridge so that she could have a cold one, and then we hid 10.
Oh, I guess there's 12 in there. Sorry. I was
Yeah,
thinking 20. 12
yeah.
pack. Yeah. Okay.
That was really fun. I recommend it, especially if you do like Capri Suns or something, because there's
So wait, what flavor of Capri Sun?
Okay, well, actually, we usually get okay. Andrew's favorite flavor of Capri Sun is kiwi strawberry.
Okay.
Um, but we got the blue cooler, the guy that comes in the twisty lid ones, the blue Kool-Aid, Kool-Aid jams, Kool-Aid jams.
Mm,
He got the blue raspberry Kool-Aid jams, and I actually got the Country Time lemonade that comes in the Capri Sun thing.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the flavors now.
And then he got a Calypso for his golden egg, and I got a Welch's grape juice. So
Mm.
because we're super classy like that.
Yeah, I can't remember they changed they have cola Capri Suns like what the what?
They have cola?
I'm just looking on their website. Like I thought they just had basic ones. Like why are there?
Well, the grocery store has basic ones, so
Yeah, I was like I don't remember ones called multivitamin. Like what is that?
that's not real. Don't do that.
Multivitamin tropical? Like there's got to
Don't
be.
do that. No, mm-mm. You're drinking Capri Sun. Nope, not a multivitamin. Nuh-uh.
Yeah, I don't think these are the right flavors. Or I mean, you see orange on here, but even orange looks like I didn't feel like it was just regular orange.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay,
I don't know.
so Easter egg hunt, and then you got the couch.
Yeah, we got the couch from her grandfather's house as well as a couple other things and unloaded those into the new house. We've got some documents coming our way from the closing for the new house, so we will be closing on that hopefully next week. So by the time
Damn.
you all hear the next episode, we should officially have it in our possession, and then we're off to the races. So, uh,
Are you nervous?
uh, not nervous. I'm just more uncertain how much time it's going to take from other things.
Yeah. I often like when big things like this happen, I often procrastinate greatly.
I mean, we're definitely not procrastinating. We've been waiting on this thing to happen for like 6 months. So we're kind of like, we're just ready to get it over with.
Yeah. No, I mean like I would buy the house, but I would like fail to move things into the house, you know?
Oh, yeah. Well, everything's in the basement already. So we don't really have much that's not already there. So it should be pretty easy to. And Rachel already freaking cut the grass. It was growing really, really wild with some rain lately. And we were like, there's no fucking way they're going to cut this before we close. We better just ask them. So Rachel asked, and
Did she
she
drive the riding mower down the street?
no, we took the push mower over there, so she
Oh,
left it
okay.
over there and mowed the lawn. It wasn't too bad. But yeah. I mean, we're already doing
Oh,
stuff. And we got insurance quotes for the house and stuff like that.
nice.
So,
Would you like to hear how prolific Tammy is?
prolific, yes.
Yesterday was his all-time record. 3 shrews in a day.
3 shrews.
And he's teaching Belly
He's actually like bringing them back to you,
to Belly.
everyone, to Belly.
I'm not even kidding. I think that's why he's doing it. I think he's bringing them in so that he can show Belly how to hunt.
He's like, that's what we're here for. Let's hunt these
You,
things.
you know where Belly's favorite spot is? Under the couch. Do you know why? Tammy's favorite spot.
Belly can fit under the couch.
Yes.
Must be
Yeah.
a high bottomed couch.
Yeah. Well, no, it's like 4 inches, 5 inches, maybe 6 inches. But yeah, Tammy sleeps under there all the time. Anyway, I thought I'd let you know because,
Shrew season.
well, I'm honestly quite impressed.
Sweet.
The question is, would you rather find dog poop in the house or a mouse that's dead?
Hmm.
I know what I'd rather find.
I feel like the dog poop would be invisible. The shrew would probably be somewhere out of place, and you'd be like, "What the hell is that smell?"
Hmm. Well, the shrews like aren't even stiff by the time I get them.
Yeah,
Like I just grab them by the tail. I would much rather have a shrew, by the way, than dog poop.
but you got wood floors, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Hmm. Maybe not a bloody shrew.
He doesn't really eat them anymore. He has eaten one, but like who knows how many he's eaten and hasn't brought in.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
Anything
think I have
else?
any other updates. No other updates right now. Nothing. Nothing new on the intro front since we just did about 45 minutes of it last time.
I feel like we've done the same here. Um, we haven't, maybe. I don't know. Okay. So, what are we doing? What's
L
next?
L&L.
What?
L&L. I got my new wall mount that I will be hooking up shortly for my plug and fire so that I can have my controller on the wall so I don't have to sit on top of my kilns. Looking forward to that. Been running that bad boy a lot lately with the bisque firings. Did you run yours the other day for your test cups?
Yeah. Um, but they're not done. Like, they still are in the post high fire, post mid fire, pre backfire stage. So,
Pre backfire. Because
yeah.
you did the full cone five with the liner glaze to start, and then you're
Yeah.
putting the final.
Yeah, did Stroke and Coast liner, Speedball outer. and then stroking coats on top of the speedball. Oh, but I will say, oh well, remind me to talk about Pazler underglaze pencil
Pazler
stories.
underglaze pencil. Okay.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, oh, I did ask uh my my landlord got back to me and I can't have the kiln in the house. Bummer. But
Yeah,
still, it was super easy to send them all the documents that I needed to send them because the website was so informative. So
that's good. Not even
who
outside,
knows
huh?
if they read them, but I know I was like, not even outside. It's about their insurance.
Mm, okay.
So
Yeah, that's not a
yeah,
typical household appliance.
no, not really. It's not a
Hmm.
dishwasher. Um, I
No.
could have probably not ever told them and they would have never known, but it doesn't matter. I'm a rule follower. So, uh, um, yeah,
Yeah,
but
I was talking with Jody from Mudslinging, and she was looking at maybe a new kiln, and she was asking about the L&Ls, and because the size that she has right now, she's got like a 7 cubic foot one, like a bigger one, but she was like, I don't fire that often, and I don't like she makes more detailed decorative things,
mhm,
and she wouldn't fill a really big kiln that frequently, so she's thinking about getting a second kiln for their other like property when they spend time in the summers and or the winter. I think it's the summers. And I was telling her about the 3 cubic foot ones. I was
yeah,
because she was at Insika and she stopped by the booth and saw what they had, and I was like, I think this would be a good like size kiln to just crank through. It's like you can fit a decent number of pieces in there, and if you just need to fire it more often, so be it.
I'm convinced you could have a full-on business with that size of kiln if you did it right.
Yeah, I mean, somebody that does highly decorative things
Yeah,
like Katie Marks or something that does very
yeah,
few highly decorative things that cost a lot of money. You don't
yeah,
need a massive kiln.
mm-mm, for sure.
Less square footage in your studio or wherever it's at. Smaller shelves, probably fewer posts. The
Yeah,
elements I would guess are probably cheaper to replace. You still get the zone control with the thermocouples if you've got multiple in there.
yep, good to go.
So, and if you get a new one, they all have the Genesis controller, so you get that
Yeah,
touch
and that's
screen.
not even an upgrade because like other companies, like the one that rhymes with smut, um, you have to pay to get a fancy controller. Just saying.
I think I was thinking she's got a older L&L. She was thinking about getting a touchscreen one.
Yeah,
So you do have to pay for an upgrade if you just have an older one, but they're not that much. I think she got a quote for it at Ensika, and they were very reasonable.
yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah. Anyway, Ryan, where can you find those?
hotkilns.com.
Beautiful, beautiful.
There was a one of our listeners said something to them at the booth. I don't think they knew. She like sang it to them, and I don't think they knew what that was from.
They
But they
have
were.
to know what that's from.
I
They
think it
have
was
to.
it wasn't like Dimitri or somebody. It was somebody else. It was like a
Oh.
some other person that was helping in the booth. So not everybody knows the ins and outs of the jingles,
Yeah.
but all right.
All right.
We're bringing back our segment called Maker of the Moment. It's been a
Maker
bit.
of the moment. Okay. Ryan, let's go with you first.
All right. My person is, for those that aren't familiar with Maker of the Moment, we just call out somebody that we follow or we stumbled upon that maybe has a lower level of followers that we would like to get more notice so that we can hopefully share them with you all and get more people to know about them because they should get all the recognition. So, my person is Pyro Pottery LLC. Her name is Sophia. Sophie? Sophie
Sophie.
Bays. Pyro Pottery LLC. She is a fellow Kentucky
Yes.
potter. So
Her mugs look great.
yeah, I don't know what initially caught my eye. It might have been the decorative ones with like Red River Gorge on them, or these
Hmm.
kind of like badge mugs with, I think it's Sasquatch maybe on a Red River Gorge stamp. But yeah, just super clean. She's got that kind of moody vibe. And if you scroll down in her feed, you can kind of see there's been some shifts a little bit since she kind of found that style.
Yeah.
And they've just been getting a little bit more and more refined over time. I even like kind of the spooky jack-o'-lantern looking one. It's pretty cool
Yeah.
too.
What I really enjoy about her stuff is the shape. I do feel like sometimes people try to make mugs really elegant, and these look a little bit more stout. Like I feel like even though they're short, I feel like they should have a beer in them. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like it looks like a beer stein but shorter, and they're like the perfect proportions.
Mm-hmm. Kind of looks like a diner mug, sort of.
Yeah, like an MUG mug. It's just like a mug, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like them. Very, the dark clay is always nice as well. I don't use a lot of dark clay myself, but finding glazes that look good on that dark clay. I think it's probably brown bear or one of those darker clays.
Hmm.
Finding glazes that look good on them is tough, but if you
Yeah,
find
and work really
find something
well.
that works, it can really look nice. So,
Yeah, for sure.
Kentucky Mountain Moonshine, that's cool too.
Hell yeah, these look great. Yeah, you can totally see the shift. I keep scrolling down. I'm liking her more recent stuff. I like the old stuff too, but the more recent stuff feels done.
Mm-hmm. She's got a nice little kitty cat mug too. I don't see many more of those in her feed, but it's a little older of one.
Oh yeah, that's cute. It's like kind of like a spooky cat.
The baby face ones are kind of creepy looking, but did you scroll down that far?
Um, no.
They're almost 2 years old.
Where are the baby? Oh yeah, nice, nice, nice. Yeah, those are great. P.S. Just got a text. My federal tax return was accepted.
Nice.
Okay.
Very nice.
Woo.
You wrote
Um,
on there, these bad boys are ready for the Edge of Darkness haunted house. So a haunted house got them? That's
yeah,
cool. Creepy.
so fun.
Nice. All right. So yeah, that's Sophie. She's currently
Yeah,
a little under
so
500 followers.
mine is you know what? I feel like I don't know if these are. Oh, okay, okay. Wait, no. Mm-mm. I feel like I picked somebody that doesn't really look at their Instagram very often, but I'm doing it anyway. Okay, so mine is Al Al Alexi Smith, LXCERAMIX. Um,
Lex Ceramics.
yeah. And he has been making work for 20 years. And he looks just like one of those potters that's just like,
Wait, I know him.
do you know him?
Yeah, he's one of the staff over at the Clay Lady campus in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh wow.
Actually, I saw
Maybe
him
that's
at
where I saw him.
Ensika last week or 2 weeks ago.
Maybe that's where I saw him because I don't know how I would have seen this
We took
without
a
somebody
picture together.
sharing.
We took a picture together at Ensika.
Yeah, because like I really like his stuff. I think it's really great. It's like it's got like a lot of intricacy to it and it looks really like it doesn't look like it's too sometimes you if sometimes it feels like it's too like forced. It doesn't feel forced,
Hmm.
you know. So, yeah, and it's like very organic. I feel like it's got a mix between like it's like a mix between like Tony's work and Andrew Andy the guy that does all the
Clark.
shit that moves, yeah, Clark. And like there's like a really nice mix between all that, you know, that looks really nice.
Hmm. I just sent you a link to the photo from Ensika.
Oh, okay. Going, looking.
So we talked about atmospheric firings and soda firings. He helps with their soda kilns and stuff a little bit here and there. And then he had a really good like kind of like
Aw,
wellness and stretching demonstration that we did at Sodaposium that was at the Clay Lady campus
yeah,
beforehand. So that was a pretty cool little um something that you don't normally get to hear about. So he kind of talked about different stretches you could do in the studio to keep your wrists good and your hands good and your body like in a good state to
yeah.
be doing the hard work of, pottery. So, but yeah, Alexi Smith out of Nashville, Tennessee.
Dang. Well, we picked some good ones today, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
I gotta plug in my laptop because a certain puppy keeps pulling it out of the wall. So keep talking while I.
Yeah, they have a pretty cool setup there at the campus because each of the staff members, their private studios, they have like a separate building with the private studios. And, he has one of the private studios and they all get about, I think like an 8x8 or 10x10 space in this
Yeah,
building that is separate from the other classes that are taught. So it's kind of nice to have that separation and be able to
that
kind of
is nice.
make your work in your own space that you can kind of do your own thing.
Totally.
So yeah, we got a nice little tour there when I was on campus.
That's awesome.
Yep. All right.
Well, we have some really fun news.
Yeah, we have an announcement to make.
An announcement. Ryan, you
We
go,
we have a
since
new
you locked
sponsor.
this in.
We have a new sponsor
We have a
joining
new
the podcast.
sponsor.
Yes,
We have a new sponsor.
we do.
We have a new sponsor.
It is. You probably can't even
Ta-da!
hear it because Zoom blocks it
Nope.
out.
We
Bushcraft
have to
tools.
bushcraft. Hooray!
Bushcrafts. So I demoed with them at Ensika last week or 2 weeks ago when we're recording this. But yeah, we've been chatting with Nikolai and Kiera for a bit. Obviously,
Sierra.
Kiera, you pronounce it Kiera.
Oh, right, that's right. It's the opposite one that we thought her name was. Okay,
Yes, it's spelled like Sierra, but it's Kiera.
it's
Um,
Kira.
but yeah, so we've been talking with them a little bit since they started their own thing back about a year ago. And if you didn't know, Nikolai was the head of engineering or director of engineering over at Diamond Core Tools for quite a while. So he was kind of the brains behind a lot of the tools that they built over the years. And then he left and started his own thing about a year ago. And you probably are familiar with the tools if you've seen it by now on social media. They've been doing a good job of sharing them with different folks, but they're the red handled tools. If you've seen those are the bushcraft tools. So, yeah, I was demoing and trying some of the tools out at Ensika. I tried some of it out before that, but also just the level of detail that he's put into the process of how they're put together is just really really well done. And Becca kind of put him through the ringer a little bit when we were
Oh,
chatting with him back a couple years ago at
poor
ClayCon.
Nikolai. Poor
And
Nikolai. He really got the I hate Diamond Core pottery tours tools side of Becca. But the thing is that I've always not liked Diamond Core pottery tours, but I've always loved Nikolai and Kira. So that's been, even though I mispronounced her name for 3 years, um, partly because she let us, but
she's
uh,
too nice to correct us.
yeah, but they were quite literally the only reason that I even was like, okay, I'll give you a chance. And then they left, so I'm back. So I'm back to the way I feel. Um, but yeah, I have the tools right here. There's uh this amazing Wait, why did we announce that we have a new one if we're gonna announce it
I
um
mean, it's still an announcement. I mean, we're gonna announce it on
okay,
the
it's still
episode
new.
before this, but it's still
Okay.
new. It's still a new sponsor.
Yeah.
So,
So, okay, so this tool, if you've never used one before or if you've never seen it, it's a red handle, very similar to an X-Acto knife base where you can screw the top part open and that opens up a prong that like collapses down onto the tool itself. And it's called the butterfly system, and you can move
Dragonfly system.
dragonfly system. God damn it. Sorry, Nikolai. We're not editing that out. Um, we'll get it. It's the
Apparently, that system of the opening and close is called a Colette mechanism.
a Colette mechanism. It's the coolest thing ever. They're these red oh, I see why it's a dragonfly. It looks like a dragonfly tail.
Hmm.
It looks
Yeah.
like a dragonfly tail. How clever. Um, and so the little bits they can come and go as you please, and you don't have to change out the whole tool. And it's a quick exchange instead of a long exchange. And they also have some other products, but we're not going to talk about those yet because they're sold out because they're amazing. So, um, how do you feel about the products,
I
Ryan?
love them. I was waiting for them to get a wider tips, which are actually coming in later in April and early May. So the wider carving tips, because I use them for my sgraffito work, and I need a certain width U shape, or else I would
Hmm.
be spending a lot of time carving because there's more surface area if the carving tool is narrower. So they are coming out with those. They had some on display at Inseca. I tried them out. I tried them also at Claycon West, but um, I got one of the first sets, so I'm able to get them into my production here very soon and put them through the ringer. But yeah, they're great. I'm also going to do some experimenting a little bit with some of the finer carving um, blades because there's a good variety of them. Like the go-to kind of kit that they offer is three handles with eight blades. So
Hmm.
like you've got a lot of variety in what you can try out there between like fine V-tip ones, there's loop ones, there's like angled ones that are kind of at more like a 45-degree angle tip. There's ones that have kind of like a little kind of like a P shape on the end of it.
What I really like about these is that it it really encourages fine design. Like really, immediately what I think about is like Sarah Anderson, Merritt Metzger, like they're doing stuff that is so detail oriented when they're doing Sgraffito. And the when they were trying to figure that out, the only tools that they could use were like that Kemper tool that's like super tiny.
Hmm.
And
Or like stylists that have like the little like
right,
hook
exactly.
or
And
something.
this really like plays to the detail-oriented potter, you know, who wants to do actual art instead of just like not actual art, it's all art. Who wants to do like actual like life drawing images as opposed to like geometric shapes. Like I would probably use something a little bit thicker, you would use a little bit thicker. Um,
Hmm.
and I appreciate that he thought about that. I also appreciate the price point.
Oh yeah.
And
So
like,
like that starter kit that I was talking about,
yeah.
you can get eight blades and three handles for $79 is what they're on sale for right now on their website as of April 6th.
Yeah.
In that retail price it shows 109, and they also sell just a blade with a handle if you want that for 28 bucks. And then the
Yeah, and I
blade,
mean
like you
like
don't need a new handle for each thing. You can just buy more blades. You can buy a whole pack of blades for like 25 bucks for five blades. So,
yeah. And you really I mean I think that it is very clear that Nikolai is a potter because if you think about it, like if you look at it and you're like, why the hell would I need three handles? Why can't I just use one? And if anybody's ever used paintbrushes or anything like that, like having the ability to switch between two sizes or two different like tips quickly is so needed.
Like, yeah, you have the option. If you do want to have one handle and switch out the blades, you can, but you can also just
But you
switch
can have
between.
three too, you know?
Yeah.
And if you wanted a round one and a pointy one for the same project, you don't have to keep switching them out. And I think that that's really like forward thinking on his part.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't need any like special tools or anything. You just
How
unscrew it.
much is just the single with the
A single handle with a blade. Is that what you're asking?
yeah,
$28.
$20, $28. And that blade is made of metal, by the way. Or not blade the blade, but the handle is made of metal. So,
Each handle is machined from lightweight aluminum and durable stainless steel materials for a solid yet balanced feel.
which means that huzzah, it won't rot.
It won't rot. I was actually thinking when I saw them, because I knew they were metal, I was thinking it would be rougher on your hands on the grip part, but it's not
Mm,
really that bad. It's not that
it's
sharp.
not.
And if you do want to change to like add a cushion or something on it, you can. You just slide a
Yeah.
cushion on there and cover it, or they do have like a coupler that's a little bit smaller if you want to put one of those grips on there and then not have it like expand the width of the grip. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's very
I
versatile,
love
very
it.
swap, you can swap things out and yeah.
And I don't know when these are coming out, but I saw a tungsten carbide tools that go into the Dragonfly mechanism, and I don't know when that's happening, but
Those
I'm
are
fucking
on the site.
stoked.
They're on the site. Two of them are sold out. There's one that's a pear shape that is not sold out, but
Yeah.
that's using the same handle.
Ah, yes, yes, yes. Um, yeah, I'm stoked. Stoked for that. I'm gonna buy one of those.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Nice. I like that they can just swap out of there.
I want to get the seven. Well, maybe. I don't know. The seven or the Delta one. The pear shape, well, I like the pear shape. I don't hate the pear shape, but yeah.
All right.
That's just like a really classic shape.
So,
But I think I already
Bushcraft.
have one. Anyway,
Bushcraft, welcome
bushcraft.
aboard. You will be
Spell it
hearing
for
about
him.
them throughout the year. Bushcraft
Yes.
is Busch, craft with a K.
Craft with a K.
Bushcraft.shop is their website.
Bushcraft with a K. Is
Bushcraft
that
with a
his last
K.
name?
Bush is his last name. You should
What a
know
great
this.
last name. I don't, why would I know that? I just talked to him face to face. Why would I be like, what's your last name? We're lucky I even know his name. Are you kidding me? Like,
She didn't say
I,
Nicholas or something.
God, I would, no, I do know his name is Nikolai. But it took me and me and Patty 3 years to figure out Kira's name is Kira instead of Sierra. So, gotta give me some credit there. I'm like, anyway, moving on. Um,
Yeah, bushcraft.shop. We're still working out seeing if there's any discount codes or anything that you all can take advantage of, but
but
we'll
go
keep
sell
you
them out.
posted on there. Yeah.
Go buy their tools. Sell it out. Sell it out.
Yeah. They had a great time at Insika. They had a great looking booth. Uh yeah. Their whole shelving unit was
This
built by his father. It's woodworking.
aesthetic.
So they were like
Oh
really
man,
nice.
I bet they were so cool.
They looked really good. And then he had little stands for the tools and they had magnets inside the wood because they're all like all the carving
Yeah,
tool, trimming tools are all magnetic inside
the
there.
attention to detail, I bet, is just phenomenal.
Very
That's
nice.
how you know you have somebody that actually knows what they're doing. Like if I went to Ensika, there's two people that I feel like this year were like new booths at Ensika, and I was like, look, it looks like they were born here. They were born in this conference. Sarah Anderson's booth, um,
Dirty
who
Pants.
with Dirty Pants Studio, but she's just good at that kind of shit. Like I've known her for a long time and she's just good at that.
Hmm.
And and Bushcraft.
Yeah. Yeah, look great.
Yeah.
All right. Are we ready for our topic, which is the
I
second
think
half of our topic that we talked about last week?
I think we are.
All right. If you didn't hit the episode last week, if you didn't listen to it, you should go back because we talked about finding and managing a studio assistant, where we covered how do you know when you need to hire somebody? How do you find them? What might you be looking for in that person? What kind of tasks should you delegate? How should you train them? And that's where we ended off. So,
Yep.
if you want to hear about that stuff, you should go back and listen to the first part, and then you can come
Yep.
back and listen to this part, or just finish this one and then go back. So, today we're going to talk about compensation and then making sure things are done properly and legally and stuff to the best of our knowledge. So,
Legal schmeagle.
yes. All right. So, one of the questions here for what we were kind of talking about was how should you compensate them? And this could be some variation. So, this could be just straight up hourly pay. Maybe you pay them per piece, where it's more task
Mm-hmm.
based. You've got the option to do, studio access and exchange, or maybe as a perk, or some combination of all the above. So, you've done some piece? I mean, you've worked and got paid piece rate before
Mm-hmm.
as an employee at
I have.
Gravesco. I've never actually hired anybody to do piece rate, but I'm curious if that's. I feel like that's not very common, but it is kind of
It's not.
enticing.
You hired me to do piece rate?
I did to throw some
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, I did piece rate for you for like a week, 2 weeks. Um,
Hmm.
I didn't do a lot, but I did a bit.
Okay.
Um, but I think yeah, piece rate's great unless you don't know how to like calculate it out.
Like you
In
don't know what's
order,
reasonable.
yeah, in order to make piece rate work, you have to have a good pay schedule for yourself. And like
You're talking
piece
about as being
rate,
the person being paid.
no, being the person paying. Piece rate requires you to know how fast you do something, what profit margin you have, like how much you're actually selling this for. Like you have to have a set schedule or a set price for your pieces that's not like really moving, you know? Well, not necessarily, but it helps. Because, like, I know that Rebecca Graves has like a calculation that she does. I think she takes how fast takes her to do something, and then she calculates based on that, and then like moves down from there. And also like how much money is she charging? Like what's the percentage of the cost
Mm.
that she's charging? And then maybe compare that to how quickly she can make it. So it's like a whole situation.
Mm.
So I know that some people pay piece rate for like a lot, right? Like $13 for a mug. And some people do, but they're selling their mugs for $300. Some people do piece rate.
$13 for a mug. So as the maker, you're responsible for making, handling, bisking, and handing the mug over bisqued at
Yeah,
$13.
yeah. But some
Wow.
people do piece rate where you just make it and the person biscuit it, right? So you have to calculate whether you want to biscuit or not biscuit, like, that all matters. So if you can't and don't want to do all that work, don't do piece rate.
Is piece rate also applicable if you were to say, I'm going to pay you $10 to prep this bucket of clay? Is that considered
Oh
piece rate?
yeah. No, not that's that.
That's still
Well,
task based.
it's still task based, but you could say it's
It's just
however
not
many cents.
hourly.
So wait, let's say that there's 25 1 pound balls,
Because generally I can
right?
fit 50 pounds in a bucket of clay.
Okay, so
Sorry, in a
50
five
pounds,
gallon bucket of cat litter. It's 50 pounds
right,
of clay.
right. So 50 pounds of clay. How much is that 50 pounds of clay? Probably like 25 bucks
Mm,
a box. Maybe it's $13
I
actually.
think it's about 42 cents a pound or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
So,
42 times 50. Yeah, 25 bucks ish. Something like
okay,
that. A
25
little less.
bucks. Um, so what? Then you would see how long it takes you to actually do 50 pounds. So what? Let's say it takes you 10 minutes to prep 50 pounds of clay. And that 10 minutes, 50 pounds.
I mean, it kind of depends on what clay you're prepping. If you're prepping half-pound balls versus a pound
Yeah,
and a half balls, it's going to take you a lot more time to
exactly.
do the half pounds to get them
Yeah.
accurate.
So like
I was thinking like
I did
having a
it.
kid, like, hey kid, prep this clay for
Yeah,
me.
I did it per bag. So like I would say, "Hey, I'll give you $5 a bag," which is
Okay.
honestly really high. Like
Really high?
hell yeah.
I don't think a kid could prep a 2 bags of clay of like a pound a piece in an hour.
You don't?
A kid?
You don't?
No.
If you tell them you can
I
do
mean,
this
it
as
depends on the
fast as
incentives. Like,
possible,
are they incentivized to do it, or are they like a diddly daddler?
that's exactly why you pay per piece. Like that is literally the reason you pay per piece.
I don't know.
Like
Well, that's
how
the
fast can I do it? Okay, this is a no brains situation, okay? You do not need brains to weigh out clay, right?
low skill. Yes.
A 7-year-old child can weigh out clay
Yeah.
with a little help, like starting off, they're going to need some help. Like you do it with them the first time, second time, maybe third. But like let's say a 10-year-old kid who's highly capable weighs out 50 pounds of clay into a bucket. They don't have to move the bucket, they just have the bucket there. Dad moves
Hmm.
the bucket, mom moves the bucket.
Hmm.
And it takes them, okay, let's say it takes them an hour.
I'm gonna say it takes them probably a minute per ball
Okay, let's say it takes them an hour.
because they have to.
Okay, for
Yeah,
50
because
pounds.
they have to actually get the weight and stuff. Like they won't
Yeah,
know
so
how much to cut off to get a certain weight.
I said $5 a bag. Okay, so that'd be $10 for 50 pounds.
Mm-hmm. That's $10 an
Okay,
hour if it takes them an hour.
and if you're 10 years old, $10 an hour is above minimum wage. Okay.
I'm,
Not that minimum wage is correct, but you know,
yeah, I mean to them, but they're not gonna. I
$10
mean, yeah,
is
they're not gonna
insane.
look at it of like they're just gonna be like, I get paid $10 to do this. They're not really looking at the time to see how much time did it actually take me because time they don't care about time the same way a grown adult with children cares about time.
Right.
But okay. Yeah, so the task-based thing. I was thinking there's some people I think that prep like mixed glazes for people. Like, hey, it's a service of you have
Oh
all the
yeah.
materials, I'll come in and I'll mix your glazes for you for 25 bucks a 5-gallon bucket or whatever.
Yeah. I had a friend that used to do that.
And then you can figure out the math and all that and, you know, depending on how efficient you are, you go through the steps. I feel like prepping a glaze from raw materials to in the bucket, sieve twice. I feel like that'd be pushing it to get that done in an hour, but maybe you can get it done in an hour.
Oh, I would spend way more than $10 on a glazed bucket.
Oh yeah, I said like 25 bucks for
Yeah.
prepping
Well,
a
are
bucket of
you
a 5-gallon bucket.
providing are
You
you
provide everything.
providing you provide everything,
They
okay.
come into your studio and they do it.
Oh, okay, they come in and do it. Yeah.
Or you, I
Hell
mean,
yeah.
or that the fee is $25 and then you pay for the raw materials. They come out,
I mean,
calculate all that stuff.
I could do a glazed bucket in 25 in a half hour. If like it depends, right? Are there
And sieve it
multiple?
twice.
Well, like do you have multiple because you can do multiple things at once. Like you can sieve, let it sit, do another one, sieve, let it sit, go back, sieve, then go back, sieve, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
Because like yeah, it really depends on is it worth it at $25? This is exactly like wholesale. Is it worth it at $25 for an hour? Yeah, yeah, sure. Is two worth it in $25 an hour? Like $25 per bucket, 50 bucks for an hour? Hell yeah. Hell freaking yeah. Give me
Yeah.
three. Give me four.
Hmm.
Like, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And then yeah,
Do you want me to?
I've never thought about the like having some because I did at some point think about having somebody throw some shot glasses for me, for instance,
Oh,
like
yeah.
paying them per shot glass. It's just hard to come up with that number. Like you're talking about the Rebecca Graves, getting down to the nuts and bolts of how much it costs you to make that
It is
thing and how
hard.
much it costs and how much you can sell it for and all that stuff. And I'm like, how much? And then I'm thinking, what sounds like a reasonable number to throw? Like, what would I do it for?
Right.
And then am I going to be happy with them to do it at, you know, I could throw it in 30 seconds. I feel like $1.50 a shot glass or $1 a shot glass would add up quickly. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is
I
somebody
can tell you,
like, does somebody looking at that number be like, that's not much at all? But do they have the same skills to throw it in? I mean, that's where they have to know that it's worth it and they have the skills to do it.
right. So, like, when I used to throw piece rate, one item that I used to throw was 50 cents. Okay. And it really wasn't about, oh, is it worth me throwing this for 50 cents? It was about how fast can I get this done today so that I can have the rest of the day. So like and for me, it was like I threw 100 pieces a day. No more, no less. Depending. Actually, there was some that was less, but that's what if I was doing like giant bowls, right? And like those
Right.
giant bowls are like $16, $20, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
um, so if I throw 100 of these small items, what is the best like turnaround time for me? Like if I get there at, I don't know, noon, can I leave by 3?
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's worth it.
Because your hundred small pieces is not going to be as much financially as doing like 20 big bowls and like,
Right.
you know, 80 mugs or
Yeah,
something.
so those small pieces are not as much about the money as they are about the time, as opposed to the big pieces, which are about the money. And the time is, it's always about the time, but not really, you know?
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Like, I think that that's something you don't really think about, like, as you're considering piece rate until you, like, get into it, like, get into the nitty gritty, and you're like, oh. You look at it, and you're like, 50 cents, what a crock of shit, you know? And, but then you're like, oh.
I'm trying to think of a comparable thing that we use on a regular basis that is kind of piece rate that we don't really think about. But
Like, just generally, like, in general life,
if there's a way that you make money in a piece rate kind of way that you just don't
you don't realize.
that's comparable, yeah. Because it's just, everything. It feels like it comes down to hourly wage. Like, okay, you're making all this stuff. Like I do my show recaps, and they're like, okay, well, how many hours did you spend making all that stuff? And it's like, I don't know. And then you're left to be like everything. Everybody's trying to get down to the hourly wage, and that's just like the name of the game. How much did you make hourly? How much did you make hourly? How much did you make hourly? Because that's like the standard that we all judge everything by.
You know what I want the new standard to be? How much did you make weekly?
How much did you make weekly?
Because like as I consider like going back to ceramics as like a full-time gig. I mean, I've already considered it and it's already going to happen, but like as I kind of like look at my life and how I want it to look, I don't plan on being in the studio more than 4 hours a day. Like I am not on weekends, right? Like
So 20 hours a week. You want
20
to work
hours a
20
week,
hours a week,
full-time pay. That's what I want.
and that's a good challenge. How do you do that?
How do you do that? And
And what
like,
is full-time pay for you? Because that could mean different things to different
right.
people, right?
That's
I mean,
like
your salary of full-time pay could be $30,000, and that's what you're
exactly.
looking for.
Yeah, my full-time pay is like no more than 60 grand, right? I would love 50, right? So
Hmm.
I don't want to work hard. I want to work smart.
So 60 grand at 52 weeks is $1,100 per week. Divided by 20 hours is $58 an hour.
Yeah, and also I don't foresee
And
me getting 60 grand or 50 grand. I'm just saying that.
you're
But
gonna you're gonna be paying more taxes too. You gotta prepare for that.
exactly. I'm looking at right under 40. Um
Pay the tax man. You don't want to be paying $27,000 in taxes?
I'd prefer not. Oh, I cannot believe you paid $27,000 in taxes. Like I don't even know what to say.
It's hard. It's hard to stomach that, but
I don't even know what to say. Like,
yep.
I just can't. But I guess if you
Okay.
have the money, then it makes sense. Like if you plan for it, then you're like, whatever, it's fine.
Well, yeah, but like, why? What would I ramp down to pay less in taxes? I would need to make less money, and then I would need to cut things back. Like, where do I cut back? And so do I just cut my prices significantly so they make less money, and then I'll be
No,
overstretched? Like,
you just
you're
pay
not.
your taxes. You just pay your taxes.
You
You just
just do
save
it.
it. You just save it and you pay it. And that's something that I learned from Kurt Hammerly a long time ago is, and especially because a lot of people would be like, well, I need to buy this year because I'm going to spend so much money. I'm going to make so much money. So I need to have like insane expenses. Or you could pay less in taxes by not spending all your money on shit you don't need, you know? So just drive a lot, okay? Just drive a lot. That's your best deduction anyway. Okay, anyway,
So
let's talk about,
you're trying to get to the weekly pay. Yeah.
yeah, I want to get to the weekly pay because that's what I'm more curious about.
Hmm.
But have we hit all the
I
questions you
mean,
had
we're
for
the
right?
compensation. I mean, hourly pay. So how do you decide to compensate them? I was kind of approaching it as ask them what they're looking for an assistant. Are they looking for more
Yeah,
transactional exchange of just I come in, I do work, I put hours in, I get money when I leave?
yeah,
Or do you want more of do they need studio access, which is what a lot of my structure is now because they don't need very much. I have all the things here. I have some shelf space that they can use. I have all the tools they
yeah,
need. I have the clay. We have the slip tank for Ashley to be using her molds and pouring slip, and she doesn't have to manage her own slip and all that stuff. We just use all the same stuff. And they come in, they work. We kind of get, you know, they log their time, and then they get access to the studio. And then any time above 4 hours per week with each person, they get paid hourly. So
yeah,
that's kind of the agreement. So it's a combination of hourly and studio access. But um, yeah, I don't know how much
yeah,
studio costs these days, but I think memberships like $300 a month, 200 and some
yeah,
change per month just for access. In some places, you got to pay for each studio firing and glazes and everything on top of it. That's
yeah.
just to physically have a space and use their equipment. But
How much do you think is too much for a studio assistant? I know how much I think is too little, but
how much do you think is too much, like pay?
yeah, I actually, what's interesting, why I was so curious about this is because I was actually talking to somebody recently about like minimum wage, minimum livable wage in the state of North Carolina, which PS, I do not get paid, not even close. And um So, like for instance, for comparison, I work at Speedball Art Company and I get paid 16.25 an hour. Okay. That's their incoming, like their starting wage is $15 an hour. That's not a secret. No secret. Like that we knew that 2 years ago when I was thinking about this. Um, okay. So like with the skills that I go in and with the grunt work that I'm doing at Speedball, like if they're doing stuff that requires actual brain input, like mixing glazes,
It's a
decorating pots.
medium skill work, like we were talking about last
It's
episode.
medium skill work. So I think that I would assume because like my job is when you come in, it's just base level. You don't have to know jack shit,
Low skill
right? Low skill.
or no
Um,
experience required, I
no,
would say.
yeah, no
Yeah.
experience. That's what it is. Definitely need skill because I tell you that if you're not fast, you won't make it. But But so like I would want to pay an employee or somebody coming in, an assistant, more than what I make, because they're doing work that matters to me. Like they matter.
Hmm.
It matters. It directly affects you. So I want to compensate them the amount that feels right. And so anyway, this person that was talking to me was like, "Am I paying my employees too much?" Because she heard about what I got paid, and I was like, "No, no, you're not." I think she was paying him like 22, something
I
like
was just
that.
say, was she doing like 25 or something? Or
Maybe like 22, 25, somewhere in there. And she's a potter, so she's like, and she's paying, I don't know what her assistant does. I have no idea. But yeah, I feel like that is super reasonable. Like super duper
I
reasonable.
would say that's above average.
I think that's above average as well. I would, if somebody said, "Do you want to be my assistant? I'll pay you 18 bucks an hour." I would be like, "Where do I sign?"
But what if that $18 an hour is for 10 hours a week?
Would you want it to be more or less for 10 hours a week?
Uh,
Like you,
I
because you
would,
you asked that question. So
well, I was saying, yeah, you could be, her assistant could be paid $22 an hour, but what if they're only working for her 8 to 10 hours a week?
8 to 10 hours a week, right?
That's not like, yeah, you're getting paid better hourly, but you've still got to make up that money elsewhere.
Yeah.
You're not, and that's where I was kind of like on the fence a little bit about if you're doing work for somebody that's very few hours, like less than 10 hours a week,
Mm-hmm.
those assistants and those people that are working that job that's very few hours, they're not expecting that to be part of paying their mortgage. They still
Right.
have to have a full-time job or some other income that needs to be livable wage, in my opinion. I'm not
Right,
saying
for
you
sure.
shouldn't pay livable wage, but I don't think you need to set a standard of $18 an hour if you can't afford to have some, if you can't even pay yourself $18 an hour, you can't afford to pay an assistant $18 an hour.
Well, if you can't afford to pay yourself $18 an hour, you shouldn't have a fucking assistant. Let's talk about that. Let's just skip that part. Like, you can't.
Because if the barrier is I can't afford to pay somebody this amount because that's what's considered quote unquote livable wage, which is like, that term is coming out more and more. I don't know where that number comes from and who decides what that number is, but
I don't know.
obviously
Every state has one. Every state has one.
it's not the like minimum wage. We
No.
all know that's way too low, but I think it's like it's a little bit of like what's competitive of like if I were going to go be a studio tech at a local clay studio, how much would they get paid?
Right.
Because is that comparable to having somebody be your studio assistant? I
Your
feel like
assistant.
going in to a studio tech job, $15 an hour is probably not unreasonable for what I could expect somebody going into that kind of
Right.
role would be.
And are you offering things on top of that that they can use, they can glean, they can like, all that shit. Like, are they
Yeah.
learning something? Do they have access to your wheels? Do they have access to your glazes? Do they have, all that
Hmm.
stuff? So like you have to add that in. But I do feel as though you shouldn't pay them like 12 bucks. That's too low.
What if it's $12 cash? Does that differ from $12 cash versus $15 cash or $15 reported as a 1099? Because essentially you're
$15
making,
reported as a 1099 is $12 cash.
that's what I'm saying. Does that make a
Oh,
difference?
um, I guess not, but it depends. I personally, unless I had a full-time job, like full-time job, I would not accept cash. because
if I
if
if you
I'm okay, here, I guess maybe I'll restate. If I am counting on this income to help me buy my groceries, I'm not accepting cash. And the reason is because,
can we distinguish cash from unreported? Are you saying you're gonna get?
oh,
I
unreported.
say
I'm
cash.
not
I
accepting.
still pay people cash, but I still report
Okay,
it
yeah.
as a 1099.
I'm talking unreported. Unreported, I don't want anything that I have to pay for on a regular basis that shows that I need that income to not be reported. Because if I'm spending money, then the government knows I'm spending that money. Where the fuck am I getting that money? Right? So
Oh, okay.
like if I'm not making a ton of money, just generally, I don't want it to be unreported because that's just a huge red flag. Oh, you got $6,000 this year in cash under the table? Like that's a huge portion of all of your bills. And that
Hmm.
and it's just shady. In my opinion, it's shady. But
So you
like
want, if you're getting paid anything, if you're a studio assistant for somebody, you want to be reported as a 1099 at a minimum.
yeah,
That's
like
what it
unless
sounds
I made
like.
$100,000 and was doing it for funsies, shoot it to me in an envelope under the table. Then I don't care. But like at that point, that's just buying my food out. Like, that's just buying like this stupid purchase that I didn't need, you know. But I don't make that, so yeah. But
Yeah, I think well, you asked what is the maximum I would pay. I feel like with the types of tasks I'm having people do at this time, I feel like if I was getting somebody new, I wouldn't want to spend more than like 25 bucks an hour, in my opinion.
yeah, I agree. I
I
can
feel
feel
like
that.
that's kind of pushing it, but
Are you
not that
willing
I
to say how much you pay? You don't
uh
have to say names, but what,
I
just
could
one of your employees or
starting
assistants?
starting starting rate was $15 an hour for the newest one that I had last year,
Okay. I
and
feel like that's
they've
good.
gotten a raise since then.
Yeah.
And Erica's on the higher end, and also some of this
And we're not gonna say Erica's because we already said her name. So,
Erica's is above 20.
as it should be because Erica's fucking worth it.
So,
Um,
but also there's a little bit in there of, because I'm doing the studio access trade situation,
yeah,
I'm not I'm not forking over a ton of money every week to have
right.
um what is it? To have between the two assistants, which most of the hours are put in from, I'm not getting much more than about 12 hours per week of work, but I'm not paying out a bunch of money for that 12 hours
Hmm.
of work because of the
Yeah.
studio trade situation part of it.
Yeah. And
But
I
also
also,
in that situation, it's also, it's agreed upon. We have a contract, so it's like if they do agree to that, it's kind of on them to also take advantage of those benefits.
right.
I do have a little bit of guilt in there at some points because I'm like, they're not taking as much advantage of this, and I feel like I'm making out on this deal in some aspects, but it's also, it's free for them to do with what they would like if that's what
Right.
they agreed upon. So, I think that definitely comes into play. Um, but it doesn't mean that I am like, ooh, I'm, you know, it's not so win or loser in this scenario for me. It's more like, am I giving them
Right.
a good experience? Am I giving them the tools they need? Am I giving them, reasonable expectations of what to have them do? I try to mix up what they're doing so they're not hating me every time that they come into work and have to like grind shells every time or do the same thing. Like, I want people to be able to keep upping their skills and trying new things. For one, it helps not give one person all of the tasks so that they have all of the knowledge, because it could be a tough situation if they leave and I don't have anybody else that could do that task.
Yeah.
It can really hurt me, and it's not good. Doesn't make good business sense. If you've worked in any company for a long time where you've been a member of a team where there's somebody on the team that knows a lot of things and then they leave, you're aware that like that burden gets felt by everybody that's left after. And I don't want that to happen. So I think that's just smart business to spread the love around and spread the tasks around. So
Yeah. Also, I need to clarify something. We are not suggesting that you pay anybody under the table.
I've done
Um,
that, but I wouldn't suggest it
I
these
wouldn't
days.
suggest it. Just fucking tell the truth. Like just tell the truth. You only get one life. And um
What if it's a kid? I feel like if it's a kid, you should pay them in cash.
oh,
I mean, you
okay,
probably
okay.
shouldn't be, or your like your child or your neighbor.
I should clarify. We're not telling you that you should we're not
I
saying
mean, I
that
don't think
you
we
sh
should legally be telling anybody to pay anybody under the table, but
yeah, agreed. But
this is
also
not
we're not
legal
talking
advice.
no, this is not legal advice and we're not liable for any stupid decisions you make. Um But also, like, yeah, your family's like nephew doing like $10. That's just a pass it, pay it forward situation. Um, that's a pay it forward situation. Like, what? Are you gonna put a 10-year-old on the payroll? You can't. You can't. So, okay.
Well, I was actually last year I did this and probably not the smartest way, but I actually 1099 Rachel, but on the books that I'm paying out a I'm paying out an independent contractor that is increasing our um taxable income. So
Jesus Christ.
like it's not they were like don't do that next year. Just do an owner's draw for her income. Like if she's doing work for you, just do additional owner's draws to pay for her
Like Ryan's
work.
so above the books that the accountants are getting mad at him.
They were like
Like,
you're just increasing your taxable income. Like this doesn't really do you any benefits to do that.
yeah, that's so
And
funny.
like, but we wanted to like make it feel like she's getting, paid for her work that she's doing because it is like she does get paid.
Hand her a check. Like,
Well, it just goes into the same account. Like it's not a separate account or anything. It's just we're just transferring it from the business account to the personal account. And it's like,
I
hey,
would
you
just
got
hand her
paid
a
this
check.
month.
Hand her a check. Like, say, here's the check. Put it into our shared account.
So I just pay her once a month, but she still logs tasks just like all the other assistants and calculate the hours that she's working, packing and shipping orders and taking photos and
Do you
delivering
pay your wife the
orders.
most out of all your employees? You fucking
She does
better.
not get she does not get paid the most.
Wow. Wow, Ryan.
Erica does. She'll
Wow.
even admit this. She complains way more than any of the other assistants. That's why I had to get that was one of the first reasons I had to get a new studio assistant with Ashley because she complained about prepping clay so much. So,
Wow.
and now I have another new person that's prepping clay that is not Ashley
Nice.
because I wanted Ashley
That's
to be doing
hilarious.
other things. Um,
When do you get a new studio assistant? When the last one is like, fuck you, I'm not prepping your clay anymore.
no, I no, I mean I think when it I mean some of these just fall in my lap. Like not a better figure of speech, but some of these studio assistants reach out, and if they reach out and they seem like a go-getter, I'm gonna like hear you out. I
Yeah.
want to hear what you want. Like I want to give you the option to have access to a kiln because I know not everybody has access to a kiln, and I know it's very expensive to be firing at studios that use this as part of their business. Like, and also as they should. Like you shouldn't be charging a discount if you're a huge multi-million dollar ceramic studio that has a lot of moving parts and give like $40 bisque firings. Like I get it. Like you need to charge, you have staff and all these people upkeeping this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not easy to just take people's work in and drop it off and deal with different firing times and all these things. Like I get it.
Yeah.
But and then I'll hear him out. That's like a while ago when I had a studio assistant role available. I had two people apply for it, and I was like, I feel like they both could probably do it. So I didn't like say no to one, and I just ended up keeping both of them. So
Really?
so I hired both of them and basically figured out scheduling that worked for both of them. So we pretty much split the work, and they were both fine with that. So,
Yeah.
you know, I mean that obviously goes into a lot of scheduling things, and you've got to balance, training new people, dealing with personalities. Um, all those different things that go with, bringing somebody in, and it's a little wild. But also, I think there's a little bit of a limiting factor of like, at what point would I have a assistant that could do like 20 hours of work? If somebody that I could, if I had enough work to give one studio assistant 20 hours of work, could they have a full-time job and work 20 hours for me?
Hmm. What if
Probably
all they
not.
needed was 20 hours of work and that was their full-time gig, you know?
Yeah. I
Like,
I mean that I would need to find someone that doesn't have a full-time job.
like what if like what if you hired somebody in Rachel's situation where she's not the primary breadwinner, but an extra income would be nice, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I would have to find that person or say that that's what I'm looking for and know that like that's what they're capable of, you know.
Yeah.
Um yeah, a lot of the assistants I have, they already have or have had full-time jobs or other jobs that are the majority of their time. And the time at my studio helping me out is just supplemental. It's just a few hours here and there. It's not a
Mm-hmm.
huge commitment. Um, even if it was 4 hours a week, like me paying them $15 an hour versus like $20 an hour or $25 an hour, it's not making a huge difference in the
To
like
you.
dollars and cents to me. And I feel like to them, if you're making $20 more a week for 4 hours of work,
Yeah.
I
Who
mean,
knows?
over time it adds up, but it's like it's
Yeah.
4 hours. They're, I mean, the number of hours is definitely gonna improve with like making it more impactful to your bills and things, but I don't know. I don't know. So if you were to hire someone, like, do you see yourself ever having a studio assistant?
No. My goal is to work as little and talk to as little people as possible in regards to like who's helping me. Um, I don't, I know I'm an outlier here, but I'm not a huge fan of studio assistants. I know I didn't say that, but I think if I was doing just basic bitch work still, that'd be one thing, but I'm not doing basic bitch work anymore. And I'm so fucking particular. And like, I don't buy any. I only buy my stuff now. I don't like. I only buy my glazes now. I don't mix them. I don't even fucking recycle clay. I like throw it away essentially. And I mean I do, but it's like the smallest. It's like in 1 gallon amounts.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I had a studio assistant, we would get nothing done
That's based on the work that you're making. Is there,
right now.
um, what if there was a breakout item that you came up with that you
China.
had to decide on it being a bread and butter of your business? Like, I'll say fidget stones, for instance. If
Okay.
somebody could come in and make fidget stones for you, would you
I
pay them
would
to make fidget stones
yeah, and
and
I pay piece rate and they'd be
make it worth
25 cents.
25 cents a piece,
Yeah.
and then you would sell them
Yeah.
at whatever you sell them?
Well, I'd probably make them 25 cents. I'd probably pay $1 per fidget stone if they did the whole thing.
Okay.
And that's probably too little, honestly. But
Okay. Because I was
um
thinking like a Kate Schrader.
yeah.
She has those mini mom burner things. I think they're
Hmm.
slip cast. I At some point she did have people managing that whole side of the business of like making them, cleaning them up, like all the things that go in with prepping them for the kiln and all that stuff. Like if you had a portion of the business that was a standalone thing like that, or is it just too much upkeep and too much overhead to keep your hands
If
off of that it's like
okay,
it's not involved?
here's what I say. If I had the choice between having an assistant making fidget stones and me making money off of those fidget stones, and then me also managing them and then making other stuff, or only making fidget stones for the rest of my life and only making a certain amount for per month and selling out and working 20 hours a week by myself, not talking to anybody else,
Hmm.
I would do that. I would take the latter. I would do a certain number of fidget stones. I would work by myself and just like talk to friends on the phone and and get my work done in my 20 hours and then be happy.
Hmm. Because I think the draw for me is I see there's demand in something. I have to choose where my time goes. So I have to decide what's worth my time, what's not worth my time. I see there's an option to do more carved things. Do I just drop everything and make all carved things because there's a demand there? Or do I keep some of the other balls in the air of the basic bitch pots and all these things that also make money? Um,
Yeah.
and that's where like the assistants help with some of those things that I mean, I could spend time doing all the things. I would just, my timeline would expand out. Like what I could get done in a month, it might take me 2 months if I didn't have any studio
Yeah.
assistants. So it's just, I'm just compressing the time. But
I think that
I mean,
yeah.
there's drawbacks to both of those of like, oh well, I see there's demand and I want to meet the demand and I want to figure out the way that I can sell this thing and you know, it's just it's a little different challenge and different way of doing it, I guess, as
Yeah,
well.
I think the difference for me is that I don't want to manage anybody. Like if they took him home, did the whole fucking thing by themselves and they brought him back, then maybe, right? But at
Hmm.
that point, why not just send it to fucking China and
Why make them
like
at all?
yeah, why make him at all? But like I think that yeah, I think that like it just seems like a lot of hassle. And like like okay, if I had Erica, like if I had an Erica and they were like God's gift to Earth, like yeah, I'd have a studio assistant. But I don't have Erica and I don't know if that's achievable uh in reality because you got so lucky with Erica. And
Hmm.
so because she's amazing,
But I think
right?
a lot of it takes time. You've got to figure out what their skills are, what they're willing to do, see that they've accomplished it, see that they're reliable, and then you just add
Yeah,
on. You just add on to it. Just like
right. I'm
who
not
would have
willing
known
to
that
go
you
through
can
that.
throw 3,800 pieces a year?
Right.
Like that's not
I'm just
realistic. Be like, hey, you just got to make 3,000 pieces next year. Like that, you don't just get there. You've got to like build
yeah,
little by
and
little.
I do definitely feel like I don't have the patience for that anymore. Like I'm just
Hmm.
over that and I'd rather just sit in my little hobbit hole and figure it out by myself. And and maybe I'll have a different answer in 3 years.
Hmm.
But right now I cannot think of a single step in my process that I would want to give to somebody else. Like except for maybe fidget stones.
You know what's funny is I feel like you've thrown for Isaac. You said he's very
Yeah,
particular, right?
super
You
particular.
know
Oh
how
my
many
God.
assistants he has in his studio?
So many.
He has like 12 or something like that.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that the
It's
reason he's
crazy.
less particular is because of me now. Um, no,
Well, I
I
don't
don't
know if he's
know.
less particular. I don't know exactly what the scope of what they're doing
I
is,
don't know if
but
anybody's throwing for him though. I was throwing for him, and like if you're not used to somebody else throwing for you, it is very different.
yeah,
So, you know,
yeah. Well, I think it's like I just see that there's opportunity for like making this thing, and I want to make this thing, and I want to like, make this product or make that product or have more of this. I can see that more people like this, so I want to see if I can do that rather than I'm like more versus like
I know, and I'm
I want to
like,
make like I want to make if I chopped off 1,000 pieces from my 3,800 that I made last year, I would be like, holy shit, 1,000 pieces less. What the hell
yeah,
would I
and
do?
I've hit the part of my life where I'm like less, less, less. Like
Right.
I think that I'd rather make 30 pieces a month
Yeah.
at $100 than if I only made 360 pieces in a year. I would throw myself a fucking party and made $30,000. I would throw myself a party.
You should.
I should.
But what do you, but how do you get pat like how to in reality, like what does that actually look like, you know? Keeping up that pace is hard.
Yeah, I don't know. That's why I'm saying if.
Hmm.
But
There was a there was a couple questions in that section that I feel like we touched on. Trevor's question was, how do you balance the real asset of giving studio access with paying a livable wage? Um,
yeah.
because like the studio access, it's hard to get this the nuts and bolts numbers of like how much that is valued at, or the like lessons you're learning from just being
Right.
in a studio.
Well, and also something we didn't say was like if somebody isn't doing this full time, like let's say they're or no, let's say it is full time. Like let's say you're a full-time assistant, you're working 40 hours a week. Studio access is have you ever had a watermelon peep?
No, I don't really eat Peeps. I've only had a couple in my whole life.
Same, delicious. Anyway,
Watermelon Peep, is it like a Sour Patch watermelon? Because that's what I picture
kind
it
of.
and it tastes like.
Um, what was I saying?
If you had a full-time studio assistant, 40 hours a week, and I don't know if you
Oh,
were saying how much a studio cost. Is that what you were gonna say?
no, I was gonna say that like having a studio is a luxury item. So, so like I think at that point when you're comparing livable wage versus studio access, what's a luxury item and what's not? If this job is not a luxury item for them, because a job can be a luxury item, right? Like if they have a full-time gig and they just want some extra moolah on the side, that's a luxury, right? Like,
Yeah, it's just the cherry on top. It's not,
right. It's the
you're not
cherry on top.
expecting that as piece of your pie to pay your monthly bills.
Right. If it's a luxury item, then the the payment can be a luxury item too. And if it's not, like let's say they're more focused about how much money they're making than the studio access, then give them more money and don't give them any studio access. Like I think you have to figure out what their intentions are and what they need too, you know?
Hmm.
Like if
And
it
then
works out that
if I
you
were to say, would I, if I didn't offer any studio access
would you take this
and
job?
I just all of a sudden had to start paying them for the hours that they've been giving me for studio access,
Yeah,
would I still give them that money? Would I
right.
still feel like it's valued at that amount of money?
Yeah,
I would say with the work that they're doing, yes.
right.
Would I feel it a little bit more when I look at my books? Yeah, I would feel it, but
Yeah,
it would be an expense on my books, which would probably help me
right.
financially because I would have less taxable income.
Right. So like what's the top banana? What's the top banana of what you're willing to pay?
Hmm.
The top amount that you're willing to pay? What's the amount that you feel like um what's the amount that you feel like your studio time is worth? Subtract that amount from the top banana price, offer them that amount with the studio price, and then say if you don't want any studio time, there is another number that I've calculated
Hmm.
that you can have. But that means you have no studio time. And if you do have studio time, you pay me.
And the paying for the studio time gets a little messy with just like, you got to pay me
I
for
know,
when I
but
go play, and you
assuming
got to pay me for firing, and you got to
right,
pay
and
me for the
assuming
shelf. And
assuming that they do start doing that, then you switch down to that lower rate and you do that, you know? I think it would be smart to have both wages in your mind. A no
oh, I,
studio time
yeah. I mean, I think
and
that's where you kind of start. That's where when I started out, you actually we kind of moved into the studio access option
yeah.
over time with Erica because she didn't, I don't know, we actually talked about it on the podcast at one point about studio access, and I don't know if she heard
Hmm.
it or we were just talking about it, but she's like, I've been paying to go to this other studio. Why don't I just work
pay to come here. Yeah.
like why don't we just come to an agreement where I'm just trading time for studio because I'm already going to be here. So, um and then it's like does that contract hold for a long time or do you have to renew it and you have to come to agreements and renegotiate and things like that?
Yeah. Because like, what if your studio assistant's a student and they have free access at their school?
Right. I mean, that's a
They
big
have,
reason one of my studio assistants didn't accept the job and she got, referred Ashley because she still had studio access. Ashley did not.
yeah, right. And like, so she doesn't need the studio access, so she would want to get paid a regular amount
Mm-hmm.
for that time, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think the livable wage part comes in and makes it a little bit challenging.
It
But
almost
I,
feels the
but
livable wage. Oh, hold on. The livable wage almost feels like the is pottery a necessity or is it a luxury item? It feels like that. Like,
I think it comes sticky to me because a lot of us question, are we getting paid enough as the makers? And like, if you
right.
have to meet that standard of livable wage for like the public of light, then like most of us aren't even making that amount of money hourly
Yeah,
ourselves.
and that's again why I said if you're not making that amount of money hourly, you shouldn't be paying somebody. Buck up and figure out how to do the work.
Hmm.
Like, well, that is really harsh, but it's true. It's true. Like,
Or like build in that, okay, these pots need to cost more money because I need assistance to help me
yeah. And
produce the thing.
if somebody says, "Wow, these are really expensive. How do you justify this?" You say, "I'm trying to pay an assistant. Like, I'm trying to support somebody else
Hmm.
as well as myself. And I actually pay myself."
Hmm.
And I feel like this whole thing comes down to a hard truth.
Hmm.
Are
And
you
then the
pricing your pots correctly? Like,
pricing and then the competitiveness of like what's a comparable like I think there's I don't know being like a I don't know the value in having autonomy in your job,
mm,
how much value that has of like I can come in, I kind of know what I'm gonna expect.
yeah,
Like there's not gonna all of a sudden a fire that's gonna pop up halfway through your workday that you're gonna have to tend to
right.
if you come work at the studio. Like you're independent. You're gonna
Yeah,
come, you're gonna see a list, you're gonna do the list. There's not a lot of variability in that. I mean, you're gonna have variability in what's on the list, but something's not gonna come up all of a sudden, and you're gonna be shifting to do something else that you don't want to be doing. Like you kind of know what you're
right.
getting into, and it's hard to know
It's already a cush job anyway. Like,
working as
if
a
you
studio
have
assistant.
yeah, if you have a studio assistant and every day they're coming to work and they're like, God, I gotta go to work. Why the fuck are you working there? Like, you have the most like cush job of all time. You know, there's probably snacks. At your
Hmm.
house, there's drinks. Like,
Drinks. There's cats. There's
there's
you can play
cats.
your music. You can work at your own pay. I don't feel like I'm micromanaging. I do want you to report what you did so that I know as a business what we're spending our time doing, but
Fuck, it's like if you're doing that as a your own business, then you should maybe reconsider it. Go to a real job and then realize that, like I did, go to a real job and then realize that you just had your life like was great. Um,
like yeah, you can go work at I think grocery stores. You could probably make 15 an hour at least,
apparently
right?
Walmart, the people that like bring out your groceries for the delivery or whatever, the pickup, they get paid $23 an hour.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Why aren't you working at Walmart? Why am I
23
not
bucks
working
an
at
hour.
Walmart?
23 bucks an hour. But also, what do you got to deal with the public? Is getting paid $15 an hour to not deal with the public and do your own thing and work at your own pace? Like, is that worth it?
Right.
Or, if I had to do $15 an hour at 40 hours a week, it probably wouldn't be worth it. you'd be like, I need a little bit more money here. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just explaining away why $15 an hour is fine. But as a business, I'm like, okay, this is how much money I'm paying for this thing to be done.
As somebody that
Would
gets
I
paid
pay more money
$15,
than that or not?
as
Like if you were
somebody
just
that,
prepping
yeah,
clay, if you were just prepping clay for me, would you expect to make more than $15 an hour?
no. I think I'd want to be paid per piece if I was prepping clay, per bucket.
What if you were underglazing pieces for me, like sgraffito work?
I think I'd want to be paid per piece for that too. If there was only one job, I want to be paid per piece.
Well, it wouldn't just be one job, but
No, but that's what you said. Like if you were only
sorry.
prepping clay, if
Yes.
there was only one job, I would want to be paid per piece
Okay.
because then I can do it at my own time, whenever I wanted, however I wanted. Not however, but you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if it's really I feel like in that aspect it's is the leverage on the side of the business in that because it's so hard to understand how much time it's going to take, how much you're going to make. I don't know. I guess you kind of get in the weeds, you try it out and see how much you actually make per hour and do the math. You just got to figure that out.
Yeah.
Okay. What about okay, let's see. Green Cabin. Go pause. Yeah, we need to talk about one of our other sponsors.
Yeah.
Before
Well,
we answer
Ryan,
this
you just
question
went
from
to,
Cindy.
oh yeah, Cindy. You just went to Encika and you saw the brand new glazes that Speedball had.
Studio Plus line,
Tell
16
us about
colors.
them.
16 colors. They range from '06 to 6.
Okay.
Still waiting to see them actually bottled up and all that and get them out to folks and available. But um, yeah, they will, I believe they'll be in pints probably. Pints in 2 ounce bottles, kind of like their underglazes are.
I think they are. Yeah.
So yeah, they're the kind of bright, vivid colors. They've also got some of those, varied colors in the rainbow, kind of like their underglazes. So kind of fit in those little gaps. I saw some tangerine names in there. I saw a rich brown name in there. Um, I really like the one that looked kind of like robin's eggish. I don't know what
Mm,
color that is called, but um, we'll see once they share the full lineup of color options. But yeah, the tests that they had at Ensika were '04 and 6. So you can kind of see there wasn't that much, all the colors were still, vibrant and all of that at the different ranges. So it wasn't, like they were burning out or anything like that. I think if you took them up to
right.
10, maybe that's why the top end of their range is 6. But
They will go up to, I bet they'll go up to 10. I bet they
mhm.
will.
It's like
I
one of
mean,
those
like,
things where
they
they don't
can't,
advertise it, but you can.
yeah, they won't ever say that it goes up to 10 because 10 is so, like, with reduction and everything like that, it's so variable. But
Hmm.
if I know the chemist, and I do, they go to 10. So
Okay.
that's what I would bet. So I would like a lot of the underglazes at Speedball go to 10 and they look great.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, so Studio Plus, they'll be coming out soon. We're still waiting for official release date. I think they're kind of working on their website of how they're going to announce it and make them available there as well. But um, yeah, Studio Plus line of glazes. They got a whole new line. So they've got the kind of the low fire earthenware line. They got the mid fire line, which they've had for quite a bit. They've been adding some colors to that for the last couple years with some of those new fluxes and all that. And then the Studio Plus is a new one. So look out for those. And you can find those at where, Becca?
SPWDBALL Speedball.
Art.com.
Yeah. And I think that it should be noticed and mentioned that they released their brand new website.
Oh,
They
they did?
have they have I'm pretty sure because I'm on it right now. I wanted to check. while we were looking at stuff. So the underglazes, let's look at that. Yep, you can add to cart.
Ooh,
You can
that is the
add
new
to
website.
cart. It
What?
looks phenomenal. Sam did it. I know Sam did a lot of it, and it looks fantastic. So
Oh shit.
shout
It
out
is
to
new.
them.
Okay. I knew
It
they were
is
working on it. I
new.
didn't know when they were gonna officially launch it, but
And now you can buy directly from speedballart.com. So that is really exciting. And on top of that, you can see everything that they offer because like they have this really cool product called the Silicoil and it comes in a glass bottle and
mm,
it's a cleaner. It's a brush cleaner with a little schmir schmir thing at the bottom like a little like I don't know what it's called. I don't know. It's a spring, and it's only 12.99. It's great. I use it to with my brushes, and but yeah. So yeah, that's really exciting. They have not only so Speedball has block printing, screen printing, calligraphy, mono printing, ceramics, papers and journals, and like studio essentials. So they're not just for ceramics. They're not just for like basic art products. They have a lot. So.
hmm. Yeah, the site looks great. This is my first
It
time
looks
seeing it because I know they've
fantastic.
been working on it and they talked about it at NCCA and
Yeah.
we were kind of waiting on it to officially launch. So,
Yeah. It looks great. Phenomenal.
yeah. So, once they officially launch the Studio Plus, you'll be able to see those on there as well. They're not on there yet, but
Yeah.
I'm sure they
But
will
you'll be
be.
able
They
to.
will be soon. So,
Yep.
yeah, I saw a photo on the bats of my my bats in one of the product photos.
Nice.
Yeah, sweet. All right, speedballart.com. Okay, let me read the question that Cindy sent. Cindy was asking, do you feel pressured to pay your assistants a wage, or is it enough to do an energy exchange work to allow them to make their own things? So we kind of talked about this, but
Yeah, no, pay him.
well,
I say pay him.
if they want access,
Yeah, I mean, if they don't want to be paid, that's fine. But like, unless they're like not hurting at all, I would pay him.
I would suggest just being upfront of like asking them what they want.
Yeah.
Do they really need studio access? And also like consider your space. Like, do you have space to accommodate them?
Yes.
And are you willing
Like,
to have somebody else in your space on a regular basis?
right. Like, is
Or
studio access to you like only a couple hours a week, or is it like 24 hours? Like, is the studio a separate outbuilding that you can let them use it 24 hours a week?
mhm,
Or 24 hours a day, I mean. Like that should be considered as well.
yeah. Yeah, I think it would kind of push up to a little bit of a and you're kind of I'm in a good spot because my assistants have full-time jobs, so they're limited on how many hours they can physically be here if they were to
Yeah.
utilize the studio as much as possible. Like if they all of a sudden didn't have that job and they were like, "Well, I'm going to just start going to the studio 30 hours a week." It would
Yeah.
probably impact me more and I would maybe feel differently. But I would just say, see what they're available for. And if it's a access for studio access for work, I would I tended to get to an hour like these number of hours. It gets a little tough. These number of hours of work for this number of hours in the studio, it gets a little hazy with that just because I don't know, it's hard to track all that and keep up with this is how many hours you have allocated to be here. I don't know. But that is an option. Okay, the last part is how do you set things up clearly and legally so it worked for both people? We kind of talked about in the last episode about the distinction between the W-2 and 1099 contractors. Um, a lot of that has to do with their scheduling. Like, can they set their schedules? Do they have the ability to work independently? That's, most of those are, if they set their own, they work independently. They aren't expected to be there a certain time and place.
Mm-hmm.
Those are generally like within the 1099 parameters, but um,
Also, it should be noted that like when I put my 1099 in before I put any business expenses, because technically I didn't really own a business this year, but I did have business expenses. Um, it should be noted that like if you are giving somebody a 1099, and they don't have a business, because you can do that in some states. I don't know which ones, but you can. They're on the hook for a lot of money. So make sure they know that in advance when you're paying them. Like make sure you drill it into them. Because Ryan gave me a 1099 for like 6 grand. Sorry, Ryan, I said that, but
That's
I
fine.
did.
I mean, that's your money that you're getting paid. So if you want to tell them, that's up to you.
Right? For various things, right? 6 grand for various things. And um I would have had to owe $1,000 off of that 6 grand. So like keep that in mind. Like if I didn't have those business expenses, it would have still been $6,000. You know?
Hmm.
So
I mean, that's
so
kind of how 1099s work, though.
I'm saying I know that, but not everybody knows how 1099s work, and not every
Mhm.
person that's just an assistant knows how 1099 works. So you have to make it clear to them that they're going to have to pay 30% of that. So
Mhm.
so like just because how terrible would you feel if they came up taxes and they're like, holy shit, I had to pay $1,000 and I didn't even have that because I spent all that money because they weren't informed, you know?
Mhm.
So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, it's a little yeah, I don't know. I think you should at least tell them, but also
Yeah, you should tell them.
how do you because when somebody's starting their one of their first jobs like out of college, they might not know much about 1099s. Like maybe you sell at a show and you get a 1099 or whatever, or you sell at a gallery, you get a 1099. Like to me, that's obvious. Like you're on the hook for that money. That's always been obvious, 1099, but
Yeah, but
maybe it's
like
not to everybody else, but how do you
there's a
how do
lot of
you
20-year-olds
confident
that don't even know how to pay taxes. Like, don't
how,
even know why we pay taxes.
how do you confidently have a how do you have that conversation with them when you're hiring them that you say like, "Hey, you're going to get paid and you're getting paid as a 1099 worker." How much do you have to spell out to them what that means exactly?
I think maybe
Because
have
like you're getting paid because if I were to say, "Hey, you're getting paid $15 an hour, 1099, and as a 1099 worker, I'm going to give you a sheet at the end of the year that tells you you made $6,000. When you get to tax time, you're going to have to pay taxes on that income. So you should be saving money and not spending all of it." Like, how much of that is within me as an employer should I be telling them or that all of that stuff versus
well,
them getting
Drew,
educated on what that means to be a 1099 worker?
what if you just found like a website that like I think either A having like a website as holy shit, Tammy. As Tammy is sticking his paw in the water bucket next to me and flicking it all over the place.
It's like, I'm wet and I don't want to be wet anymore.
Um, stop it, Tammy. Okay, you're done. You're done. The water is off limits. Okay. Um, so okay, yes, I understand that, but a lot of the reason people become studio assistants is to learn, right? And I think it's our responsibility as somebody who's teaching a studio assistant, stuff like that, to just lay that stuff out. Like if you just made up a sheet that had some numbers on it that was like, okay, I'm paying you $15 an hour, 10, let's see. Stop it. Why are you you know what? Never have a cat as a studio assistant.
Agreed.
Agreed. Here, take this brush. Take it. Take it. You fucking jerk.
Just put a lid on your
Uh,
bucket or
no,
something.
no, no, no. He moved from the bucket to the brushes. Now he's grabbing all the brushes
Oh,
out of the thing and
not a
moving
good
them.
studio assistant.
Terrible, terrible. Okay, so you're getting paid $15 an hour times 10 hours a week times 52 weeks. Oops, that was wrong. 52 times 10 times 15. Yeah, 7,800. Okay. You're getting paid $7,800 a year. All right, to be a studio assistant. And let's just assume that you have to pay 30% because that's what the government assumes. So times zero point 0.7. So your take home pay is 5,460. So if you just do this on paper and say you need to save $2,340 like of that money so that you don't go under. I think that if you say $2,340
Hmm.
needs like is what you'll have to pay, I think that's enough. Just like do a just a quick example, you know?
Hmm.
Um I
Yeah.
know that I understand that like I probably take this stuff a little bit too seriously, but I
I mean,
also
it would suck if you didn't know that and then you found out.
and
But
like there's so many people in this world that are not as educated as us
hmm.
and do not know the type of like tax situations that we do. And
Hmm.
and it is a disservice, I think, to that individual to let them not know that a 1099 doesn't mean it's free money, like no taxes, you know?
Yeah, I think what I've done is I say, hey, I have in order to pay you a 1099 or in order to issue you a 1099 at the end of the year, this W-9 form is required so that I can tell the government this is how much you got paid and you'll be responsible for the taxes.
Yeah.
Even that is a little vague, but
That's a little vague. Like, I'm just saying, like, if you were talking to a 20-year-old today and you said that, there's a very good chance they have no idea what you just said, you know?
true.
So
Should then sh what should
now if it's like a 6-year-old man, he probably knows what you're talking about,
what if it's a
you know?
28-year-old person that's had a full-time job but has never got paid as a 1099 contractor? They've
Then you
worked a
need to tell
W-2
them that.
they've worked a W-2 job.
Yeah. And say, hey, you know how your paycheck gets money taken out every single month? Well, this, you're not getting that money taken out, so you need to save that money. That's all you gotta say.
I was doing a little chat GPT asking like, hey, what are the practical things you should say? Here was a quick summary of what they suggest you should say. Just so we're clear on payment, this is set up as an independent contractor, 1099 work rather than payroll employment. That means I'm paying you the agreed upon rate directly, and I'm not withholding income tax, Social Security, or Medicare from those payments the way a traditional employer would.
Yeah.
If your total paid work here reaches the reporting threshold for the year, which should be like $600. I'll send you a 1099 NEC for non-employment contractor after the year end for your records. You'd be responsible for reporting that income on your taxes. I'd recommend keeping a simple record of what you're paid, and setting aside a portion for taxes since nothing is being withheld automatically.
That is beautiful. That's beautiful. Like that makes sense. And maybe have it written down.
I was going to say, how much of that is like, okay, okay, and you're just nodding and they're like excited about getting the job and they're like, okay, okay. And then they get
Yeah.
this 1099 in January and they're like, oh shit, I was supposed to be saving money from that cash every time I got when I worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I get it. Yeah, it's more education that needs to happen.
Yeah. I mean, like, even if you had a quick little like an example at the bottom, just like a math equation that was like 30% of your check should be saved. That's it.
Uh-huh. Because I feel like obviously you're in a tough spot at the end of that if you don't, well, if you don't say anything, they realize it, they pay it, they're not aware of it. They're gonna feel a certain way when it comes to the next year, and they either tell you or don't tell you about that.
Hmm.
And they're gonna say, "How could you have not told me that?" Or I didn't realize I needed to pay this, and then they find out like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you should have told me." But how how does that like it makes it tough with the negotiation a little bit with the upfront because you're like, "I'll pay you $15 an hour." And then they're like, "What is that in reality?" And then you go through this explanation of what it is, but it's like that's how it would work for a regular job anyways.
Yep. Yep.
So if you're comparing, oh well, I'll just make $15 cash an hour, then they're thinking, oh well, in reality, I'm only going to make $12 an hour. But it's like that's how much you would make at a regular job either, or as
Yeah. Well,
well.
and you just tell that. You just say that. Like you're getting this money taken out at a regular job as well. It's just before you get the money.
Right. It's before it's in your in your bank account.
It's like you're the responsible adult as opposed to your employer being the responsible adult.
Right. And as an employer, I have to be a responsible adult to report it, or else I can't claim it as a deduction
Yeah.
or as an expense for the business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, the 1099 I think I was asking you how much or I was asking somebody about how much it costs to actually set up the W-2 payment employee
It was me. I
enrollment and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, that feels like, I mean, I'm gonna have to get there at some point, but um probably get when I switch over to being S corp when I'm full time, I'll probably do that. Um but yeah, once you get there, it's a little more obvious because you got, the payroll, and that money is taken out from their paycheck and then they get it and then
Okay, so payroll services is $35 a month and it's $6 a month per person. So,
that's
um,
through Square.
yeah.
35 bucks a
So,
month across the board
but that's full service. So what they're doing is they're coming in and they're literally clocking themselves in and you don't have to do a thing. You just
Oh, they
at the
clock in,
end,
they clock out, and then it reports
yeah.
the number of hours, and then you set a pay rate, and then it takes it out of your account and all that stuff.
Hmm. Now, you can do contractor only payroll, and that's $6 a person. So, like, you could do contractor with all of your employees, and it'd be $6 a person, and it says
Per
it's
month or per year?
per month. $6 per month per person. And then it's unlimited pay rents per month, no commitment, simple onboarding, pay by check, direct deposit, or cash app, and that's it. And then auto payroll is the full service. Auto payroll, off cycle payments, multi state payroll, multiple pay rates, 2 day and 4 day direct deposit, next day direct deposit, Square Team app, employee self onboarding, and free seasonal inactivity.
Yeah.
So,
I don't
and
have enough
then,
hours going around in my studio to do that at this point.
right.
I mean,
But
that's probably also reporting a 1099 for you and submitting those
yeah,
and
exactly.
sending them to
So,
the employees and or
yeah.
contractors and
Yeah, if they're making, like, if it's a business where they're an actual employee, they have to be an employee, then it makes sense. Only because you can mess up yourself. Like, you can mess up employee taxes so fucking easy.
yeah, I don't want to do that. That's why I pay somebody to do my taxes. So I would have a
Yeah,
service that is specializes in doing that to take care of that.
yeah. And I think that if I was gonna, I don't know if I would 1099 or if I would do payroll. I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know. It just seems so much nicer to the employee to do a payroll. Mm, you know, if
Yeah.
I could afford it, I would do payroll. Like if I was making as much as you're making and I had one employee, like one assistant, and I could like afford that $35 a month, and they were
Hmm.
making like more than $400 a month, I'd do it.
Yeah.
Or like
Well,
maybe a thousand dollars a
I would
month.
also be paying myself in that bucket too. If I was
Yeah,
an S corp, I would be paying myself and then also paying
exactly.
for an assistant. And yeah, that would make more sense
Yeah. So
because it's a lot.
I've
Yeah,
done
it's a lot
payroll
of money
taxes.
moving going around.
I've done payroll taxes by myself and done all the like tax stuff. And it was in Washington where there is no income tax, and it was a
Hmm.
pain in the fucking ass. So
I just think like once you start taking the money and you're supposed to I don't know how you distribute them to the different funnels, like the Social Security and the Medicare or what. Like I don't know how the money gets from the business to those entities, but that's what the payroll system is taking care of for me and taking that piece of mind
exactly.
off.
And if you don't have to do it, if you pay yourself $35 an hour and instead you can pay a payroll company $35 and you have no hours
for
of
the
doing
month. Yeah.
employee for the month, that's fucking worth it. Okay? Like, you have to think of it that way. If it's $35 per month and you have one employee, like let's say it's 30, Oh, now let's say it's $41. You have one employee, but you would spend 2 hours every fucking week trying to figure out your employee taxes. Like, even if you spent a half an hour every week, that's better.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
so keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Because really, truly, it is something that is so complex and so confusing that you, I wouldn't.
Yeah. One of the last things on here was doing it like legally and stuff. Was mentioning like obviously having a contract of some extent with the arrangements.
Oh
That's
yeah,
that's definitely my recommendation. Even a basic one that just says, "Hey, these are the types of tasks I'm going to ask you to do. This is about how many hours I'm going to expect or offer. This is how much the payment is. This is like, is it 1099? Is it W-2? Whatever." Um, that kind of an arrangement. Sign it. If it's a trial period, maybe put a deadline on it and say, "Hey, this is a trial period for the next 3 months until this date at which we are going to renegotiate and discuss." That way, it gives you an out, it gives them an out if something's not working, or if, it turns out to be, oh, like, I don't really like what I'm doing here.
yeah,
So,
definitely.
yeah. All right. I think that's about it. The only last thing I had on here, what lessons have you learned from having studio assistants? What worked, what didn't
D
work? I don't know.
don't
Did we
have
talk about
them.
it? Don't.
Woo!
Becca
No,
says don't have them.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I really enjoyed the studio assistants that I had when I had them. I just also really found out what I needed and what I didn't need. I think
Hmm.
that's really what it was.
I think it can, yeah, I think it can cause you to like bloat the things that you're doing for the sake of I need somebody to have work to do,
Right.
and it can add more complexity than is necessary, than it's
Right.
worth. Um,
Yeah. I'm
because
trying to
because
simplify
you
my
need
life.
to like cover a certain, like if it's going to cost you $200 to have them there every week, then how are you bringing in $200 of extra income for the work that they're doing so that it makes sense for you to
Right.
pay them
If they're
for that
showing up
work?
and you're like, I don't know what I need you to do, then there's an issue.
Yeah, yeah. You need to have something like always on the plate that you can give them.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's a lot of I would say it's a lot of learning how to manage people and have a good efficient process of like systems of how you
Yeah.
like work through your own workflow. Like if I was like early in my business and I had some item that like blew up and I didn't have good systems in my own process to get this thing made and to market and all this stuff and online, and I had to all of a sudden say I need to hire somebody to help me because I don't have enough time to make the thing. Like if your systems are crappy, adding somebody in to a crappy system that you're just trying to like figure out is probably not going to be worth your time and money to manage another person and pay them when your
Yeah.
system that you're bringing them into is kind of crappy. So like I think it works for me because I've had the same process for a long time and many years, and I can easily say this is what I would like you to do and take that task off of me, and they can do it independently and all of that, and it just kind of flows nicely, and I can open a bucket of clay and work with it and throw with it, and it doesn't, I'm not missing out on anything, or um
Yeah.
it's easy to fit into the workflow that I already have. It would be tough if the business wasn't already that mature
Yeah.
to handle that.
Yeah. I feel like the one thing that maybe I have a lot of things to say, obviously, always, but the one thing that I would maybe caution, especially if you get into a situation where you have one product that sells out quickly, um, and like you feel like you need all the help in the world, is I've seen so many businesses fail because they grew too quickly. But I've seen no businesses fail that made people wait. So that's it.
Oh, businesses fail that made people wait. Hopefully, don't make them too long because then they won't be a repeat
No,
customer.
but still, like, you see these people that are like selling out of these products and people are signing up in drones to get to them and they have never been able to get one. Those people have never had an issue and they've never gotten bigger. You think of Pitch Pine. Pitch Pine has
hmm
never grown and she's never had a problem selling the pieces that she has. And I mean, like, she's
I
grown.
don't know if she's had problems selling them. I don't know that they sell
Oh
out
yeah.
as quickly as they have historically, but
But still, like, they didn't grow in a way that, like, they're like, oh my God, I'm doing so well. I have to get all these employees, blah, 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 blah. You know, they
hmm
instead shifted the way they sold things and, you know, just
yeah.
kind of like shifted with the times. And so I think that that has a lot to be said.
And then when you can manage that workflow, you can keep the quality high because you have your
Yep.
standards. You're touching every piece, or you and your partner, or whoever is helping already. Like I think her and Matt do a lot of it. So,
Yeah.
the two of them have a certain eye for it. And if you bring somebody in, depending on what level of tasks that they're doing, I mean, for all I know, I don't know. Maybe they have somebody come prep clay for them. I don't know. But
Right. But we're not talking about, yeah.
we're talking about
But
like
yeah.
the skilled part of it. Like if you
Yeah.
have a product that sells out and you're like, okay, now I need a bigger studio space, and then I'm gonna hire 5 people to help produce 5 times the amount of pots, and then I can sell them and make 5 times the amount of money every, when I could do a drop every month and a half, now I can do a drop every month and make 5 times the amount of money.
Yeah.
How much work is that going to take? And then you're managing people and is the quality going to remain high? How much overhead is it for that space that you moved into that you need to now maintain and
Yeah.
insure and pay people their payroll and all those things?
Yeah, and then you have all this overhead that you have to fucking do, and it's just like such bullshit,
Mm-hmm.
truly. So I mean, like, just be cautious.
Mm-hmm. Well, you've worked in some smaller spaces and some bigger spaces too.
Yeah. And I've been in spaces that grew really quickly. And I can tell you the ones that grew really quickly shrank really quickly. You know?
Yeah. I think some of the excitement of selling out things as well, it can kind of I mean, I feel like that's the dream. Most of us want to make a product that can just sell out and then you just rinse and repeat. But I don't know. I feel like there's also the negative side of it where you feel like you have to be a robot to fulfill those things because the demand's there. And if you don't do that, then you're leaving money on the table. But then you're like, oh, I don't feel creative, or I'm not, I don't want to be known as like this, the mug guy or whatever. But that's the trade-off of having a successful item that makes you a bunch of money and the draw of like, you know.
Yep.
But okay. Well, I'm still gonna have the studio assistants over here. We'll still churning away.
Well, and also it works for you. Like, let's be honest. It works
Yeah,
for you, and it makes you a community that you love.
mm-hmm.
So we didn't really talk about that, but the
I
community
mean,
aspect is
a lot
big.
of it for me, I I mean, it's a no-brainer with a lot like getting comfortable with delegating. It it's tough at the beginning because you're releasing some of your creativity or your process, but also some of them I'm like, I am so happy I don't have to do that anymore
Yeah.
and that I can rely on somebody to do that.
Yeah.
Like, it's so nice. And then you think of the dollars and sense of it. Would I pay somebody this amount of money to get this task off my plate? And the easy answer is like obviously, yes. I would absolutely do that.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way I could have made the amount of money and have to pay $27,000 in taxes if I didn't have this size of like workflow and business.
For sure.
Like, I mean, kind of cap it a little bit, but then I would be like, oh, well, I can't not go into the studio these days or whatever because I like there's things that need to get done. But if there's people working every few days in the studio, things are getting done whether I'm there or not. And that's really nice. It's really like piece of like easing of my worry that the business is still moving without me there.
Yep.
All right. Uh that is it. This was still
That
probably
is
like
all.
2 hours.
Yeah, it was a long one. Apparently we can talk
I
forever
didn't
about
think
this.
this second part was going to be as long, but
Yeah. All right. Any last words?
nope, not for me. We're gonna have a new place when we talk
Hooray!
next. So
So exciting.
yes, that'll be exciting. And I will get my taxes done, which I still need to finalize. But
Nice. All
yes.
right.
All right. Thanks everybody for listening. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, all. Thank you for listening to the show. And we also want to thank Lindy and Ashley for all their help with everything that they've done over the years for Whale Talk. They are our Instagram heroes and they answer all your questions and then send them to us if we need to. And we also want to thank you for listening and also participating. If you want to support our show, the best way to do that is to send us questions and to review us on whichever platform you are. So we haven't had very many reviews so far. I mean, you can even leave us a bad review. We'll make fun of you, but you can. And sending us questions always helps us with every episode that we do so that we can make it the best that we can. I hope you enjoyed the episode today, and I hope you enjoy this season.